Welcome back to second half independent off-tube studio commentary from the game at Molineaux. It is goalless between Wolves and Arsenal, but that doesn't mean to say there's nothing to say about that first half. There are a couple of decent chances, and right at the end of the half, moment of controversy as straight red card for Miles Lewis-Skelly for a challenge that I don't think neither myself or Josh were convinced about that being a straight red card, really. But that is the way it's been refed. There's no VAR saviour for Arsenal, so they are going to have to play the second half with 10 men. They've made a substitution as well, with Ethan Nweri going off to be replaced by Ricardo Calafiori, just to try and rebalance things in that back four. But it could be a long half for Arsenal. But that said, if Wolves think that beating Arsenal, with Arsenal being down to 10 men, is going to be easy, Arsenal can still certainly cause them problems. It's myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz, and Josh Makin taking into the action.
Yeah, obviously it's going to be a tough one this for Arsenal. Never like to be 10 men down in any game, but obviously away at Molineaux it's going to be a tough one for them to come through as Martinelli picks the ball up on the right side. Obviously the headlines of that first half are going to be all about the red card from Lewis-Skelly. There's been a bit of a debate about it. So saw one of the replays that made us feel a bit differently.
Yeah, we could see. I mean, Arsenal certainly have a bit of previous with Michael Oliver in terms of some decisions that perhaps haven't gone their way in the past. The decision, Arsenal were on the attack down the right-hand side. The ball goes out for a throw, and Wolves are ready to take that throw, but then the referee has actually given a free kick to Arsenal after that challenge from João Gomes, who has to be careful, of course. He is the only player on a yellow card from that first half. We're going to get a free kick for Arsenal in a decent position here. I'll remind you of the 2-11s in just a second, but it's over on the right-hand side. It's going to be a ball whipped in here by Declan Rice. And Arsenal waiting in a line just at the edge of the area, just in an offside position. They need to get into the right position as that ball's going to be taken now by Rice. It's towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Good header away. I think it was, I think it might have been João Gomes that got on the end of it, but now it's Semedo trying to start something for Wolves down the right-hand side. It just gets checked by Trossard. It's out for a throw. So just to remind you, Jose Sarr in goal for Wolves. Back three of Doherty, Santi Bueno and Agbadou, Nelson Semedo, Andre João Gomes and Ryan Nouri are the four across the middle, with Pablo Sarabia, Mateus Cunha and Juan Hee-Chan coming on in the first half for the injured Jorgen Strand-Larsen. For Arsenal, David Raya in goal, a back four of Jurriën Timber, William Saliba, Gabriel and Ricardo Calafiori. Two in midfield now of Thomas Partey and Declan Rice. Gabriel Martinelli, Leandro Trossard and Kai Havertz make up the attacking three. Arsenal are down to 10 after that red card for Miles Lewis-Skelly. Now it's a long ball played forward here by Saliba towards the edge of the Wolves penalty area, as he just followed through there with that clearance. I think he might, well, it's Cunha in fact who's come crashing into the Arsenal man, and there's no booking there for Mateus. Can we have a look at this replay again here, Josh, as the ball is played. Well, he's trying to get the ball, but he's just caught Saliba a little bit as well, hasn't he? Yeah,
his foot's a little bit high, just does go through him a little bit late on. Can see why he's a little bit annoyed about it. Obviously no booking, but I don't think he has any complaints about the free kick.
No, I don't think he can, but as I say, the referee may have a bit of a job on his hands here, of course, with Arsenal certainly fuming after that decision in the first half, but the visitors have taken the free kick short, and they're off down the right-hand side. Great work here from Martinelli, gets all the way to the byline, and it's a fabulous challenge there at the last second from Mike Nouri, because he needed to be. If he gets that one wrong, it's going to be a penalty. But fabulous work there from Martinelli on the wing.
Yeah, great play all around, obviously, from Martinelli, doing well there, getting to the byline, just trying to force a cut back in the end. It's good defending though from Mike Nouri. Just gets there in the nick of time before Martinelli can put a ball across, and we'll see what they can do now with this corner.
Well, with set pieces, even more important for Arsenal now potentially, with them being down to 10 men. Doing things in open play might just be that little bit more difficult, but a set piece is where they can really try and go at Wolves. It's going to be a left-footed in-swinger from Leandro Trossard, Belgian international, with his arm up now. Plenty of activity inside that 6-yard box. Arsenal doing what they can just to try and distract the goalkeeper. Referee's keeping an eye on all of this, but Trossard is waiting patiently, and he does whip this. It's a really poor corner. Doesn't get enough height on it. It's easily dealt with at the near post. It was Pablo Sarabia as well. He's not famous for being the tallest player, but he easily gets on the end of that one. It's cleared back into midfield, but Arsenal come straight again here with Declan Rice down the right-hand side. He gets to the edge of the area and fires a ball across. Gabriel then plays it back across the 6-yard box. Nobody in an Arsenal shirt there to finish. Thought there might have been a scope from Gabriel to try and go for goal himself.
Yeah, I think he's took the wrong option there, Gabriel. I think the shot is on. It's as close to goal as anyone is in that box there. He may as well just try and check the shot on. There's not enough going forward for Arsenal, but touch on Declan Rice. I mean, what a ball that is there, just to the walls of the back post. Evades all the Wolves defenders. Just Gabriel, I think he picks the wrong option.
It does, but that's exactly what Rice is in the team for. Not just for his solid midfield play, but that's playmaking influence that he can have, and that was a great ball from the right-hand side, just in between defenders and goalkeeper. Out for a throw to Arsenal now down the left-hand side. Similar start to the first half, really, in terms of Arsenal having all the possession inside the first few minutes. Wolves barely able to get over the halfway line. It's Calafiori's throw down the left-hand side, all the way to the corner flag here for Leandro Trossard, where he's being pushed off the ball by Semedo. But now it's Doherty getting involved, and eventually the ball comes off him. It's going to be a throw to Arsenal right in that corner. Calafiori taking it quickly to Rice. Fury getting it straight back, goes into midfield here for Partey, drops his shoulder, gets away from Pablo Sarabia. Still no option here for Arsenal to get a ball into the box. Calafiori and Rice exchanging passes. Now it's played short to Partey. Here is Trossard, flicks it back to Partey, who then wins another throw for Arsenal. Wants to take it quickly, but decides to leave it here for Calafiori. We're getting word of a potential second goal for Bournemouth against Nottingham Forest. It's always going to be a big test for Nuno Espirito Santo's side. Say if it wasn't for Forest doing as well as they are, then Bournemouth probably be getting a lot of the plaudits that Forest are getting. They've been playing superbly well this season as well. We can now confirm that it is 2-0 to Bournemouth in that one, and that's a big result that for the Cherries.
Yeah, that's absolutely massive. I mean, Nottingham Forest have looked pretty much unstoppable in recent times. It felt like the winning run they've had, that's been going on for a while. You thought it might be able to continue today. I mean, going away to Bournemouth is a really tough fixture. It's that tiny stadium. It's really close to the pitch, and Bournemouth have been absolutely brilliant under Iraola. Sorry, I mean, the amount of injuries they've got, and to be doing that is just superb. Absolutely.
When you think of the difficult start he had last season as well, taking over after Gary O'Neill had done such a good job, and then they got rid of him, and initially it looked a little bit shaky, but Bournemouth looking a very different side now. 2-0 up. It's Otara with the goal there to make it 2-0. Here come Arsenal with a free kick, ball into the box, and they won a penalty, I think, here. It's Timber that hits the deck just outside the 6-yard box. We'll see from this replay as Rice whips his ball in. First question, is Timber offside? He might be. Second question, is he pushed off the ball enough for a penalty? Probably not.
No, I think there's the two players sort of on him. He might be offside anyway, so I don't think it'll matter, but he looks absolutely incensed by it. But I mean, it was a decent enough delivery. Obviously, I think it was just over the head of Kai Havertz, who was trying to get himself to it, but yeah, they've not really been as effective with the set pieces today just yet, Arsenal. We all talk about how good they can be from them, but it's not really worked for them so far.
No, and ironic against a team that aren't very good at defending them, but here come Arsenal again, and it's Rice in an advanced position. He goes for goal, and he forces a save from Jose Sarr. Well, again, Wolves just guilty of leaving too much space at the back there. They were playing out from the back after their goal kick. It's Doherty's ball which gets a deflection, and then just too slow to react in midfield. Havertz drops in. He finds Partey, and then Rice gets himself into advanced position. He goes for goal himself.
Yeah, it's far too pedestrian-like from Wolves once again. They're playing out from the back. I think it's Doherty, isn't it, who just sort of slows himself down on it. Rice finds himself in a good area, a bit similar to the one in the first half where I mentioned if it's on his right, might have a better go at it. In this case, he does. Gets his shot off towards the near post, bit far out, but still stings the palms of Jose Sarr. Yeah,
good save from Jose Sarr. Corner kick to Arsenal. It's only their third of the game. We'll see if Trossard can improve. No, he can't. It's a woeful. It's almost like we've watched the same corner kick again that we saw a few minutes ago, where he played it too low and it was headed away by the player at the near post. Exactly the same thing happens again.
Yeah, it's incredibly frustrating. I think it's everyone's pet peeve in football when a corner hits the first man. It's really frustrating to watch. Yeah, I mean, you see that build up, and then for it to just end like that, it is. The
only thing I find more frustrating than a corner that's under hit is the short corner that never even makes it into the box at all. That's the one that I just can't stand, where the teams take a short corner, then 2 passes later they realise that too many opposition players have pushed out, and suddenly they're back on the halfway line, when you just think just one good in-swinging corner, and these days keepers don't really want to catch the ball anyway, so just put them under pressure and you've got more chance of doing something. Meanwhile, it's getting even worse for Nottingham Forest. They're now 3-0 down away to Bournemouth, and Justin Kluivert has his second of the afternoon. Well, he scored a hat-trick here at Molineaux, didn't he? A hat-trick of penalties. He scored a hat-trick at St James's last week, and he's on for a hat-trick this afternoon.
Yeah, what a season he's having at the moment. It's, in the last couple of weeks, he's just absolutely burst into life, hasn't he? I think I saw as well, you know, people mention, is he the first player who's, you know, the son of an actual legend to actually be really good at football, and he's really making a case for him to be one. He's absolutely on fire for Bournemouth.
Absolutely. I'm sadly old enough to remember his dad very well. I'm assuming you probably never saw his dad play.
No, not quite.
But I mean, Patrick Kluivert, certainly a different sort of player to Justin, more of a sort of stocky, traditional number 9, but there was plenty of skill and ability about Patrick Kluivert, and I'm sure he'll be absolutely delighted. Never really made a go of it in England. Had a brief time at Newcastle, And interestingly enough, that hat-trick that Justin Cliver scored actually means he's outscored his own father at the stadium where he was a home player. So that just tells you something about his goal struggles. But no, absolutely fantastic from Justin Cliver and amazing from Bournemouth. Well, 3-0 up against Forest. But here come Wolves now for their pretty much first attack of this second half. It's taken 11 minutes here as Semedo goes running down the right-hand side, gets to the edge of the area, can't quite get the ball. And then as Sarabia's trying to back up his teammate there at the edge of the area, he then gives a free kick away, challenging Leandro Trossard, who's now complaining of some pain in his right thigh. But after all that we said about Justin Cliver getting his second goal, now there's a VAR review in that Bournemouth game. So they are 3-0 up for now, but it may just be that they're only 2-0 up.
Yeah, that would be a disappointing one after we've just made a song and dance about Justin. But yeah, well, VAR getting intervened there. It's not obviously made the impact here, but I just want to touch on Arsenal. They've responded really well, I think, to the red card. Even in the first half, as soon as it happened, they shored up at the back. They just made sure they didn't give anything crucial away. And in the second half, they've done really well. They've been the better side, despite having the one-man deficit.
Can't really tell, can you, from the way they're in possession, that they're a man down. I think there may be something in the way Arteta suggested to them. They want to get a goal early, to have something to defend, because it's going to be hard for them to play at this sort of pace, at this sort of intensity for the entire 45 if they are a man down, as Timber there gives away a free kick, as Agbadou there just using his body. Well, in this day and age, even big defenders know how to show the referee that they've had a bit of contact, and that wins Wolves the free kick. Well, the goal has been chalked off at the Vitality, so Justin Cliver, just the one goal this afternoon so far. Bournemouth only 2-0 up against Forest. And so just to run his scores very quickly, it's Bournemouth 2, Forest 0, Brighton 0, Everton 1, Liverpool 3, Ipswich 0, Southampton 1 and Newcastle 3. Tonali with the third goal, if we didn't mention that, and it's still goalless here at Molineaux after 57 minutes between Wolves and Arsenal are down to 10 men as Wolves in possession down the right-hand side with Nelson Semedo playing it back in towards Matt Doherty. All the way to the edge of his own penalty area. Santi Bueno under pressure there from Havertz, and it pays off because his ball out into midfield for Semedo is under hit, and Arsenal now win it back with a combination of Calafiori and Trossard, and these are the two now working for Arsenal down the left-hand side. Calafiori getting to the edge of the area, going back towards Leandro Trossard. No options for an early cross, although there are three Arsenal players waiting in the middle. If he can find a cross, he goes back towards Gabriel, who's joined on this left-hand side. Now it's Thomas Partey, edge of the D now. Partey thought about a shot, just rolls it back towards Trossard. He puts it onto his right foot. His cross is straight onto the head of Agbadou. It's back to Calafiori and Trossard on the left-hand side. He then runs straight into Pablo Sarabia, who then tries to go on a counter, but he loses the ball almost immediately. Trossard is still down, but Arsenal don't want to kick the ball out because they still have a possession in an attacking position here down the left-hand side. Calafiori to Declan Rice. Left-hand edge of the penalty area. Rice's ball is too close to Jose, so I thought he had enough time to catch that, but he punches it. In fairness, gets a decent amount of distance on the clearance, and then it's out for a throw to Arsenal down the right-hand side, whereas Bournemouth, they're not going to be put off by a VAR decision. They were 3-0 up. It was disallowed for offside, and then 3 minutes later, they go 3-0 up again. Dango Otara with the goal this time. And speaking of how good Cliver's been, how good's Otara been?
He's been ace, honestly, since even when Evan Nilsson's been injured. You know, that was obviously Bournemouth's big money, but signing in the summer the striker. But Otara's fielding absolutely brilliant. I commentated on when they beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge pretty recently, and he looked absolutely fantastic up front, held the ball up well and got them on those attacks. So yeah, good to see him getting his goals today.
Absolutely, yeah, he's on for a hat-trick now after all of that, as here come Wolves now down the left-hand side, a ball towards the edge of the Arsenal penalty area, quickly cleared back into midfield, but Doherty does well to win that clearance off Kai Havertz, and it's now down the right-hand side here for Juan Chan. Slightly a wider role this time for Chan, playing it into the middle now for João Gomez. Now it's played through Cunha, finding space here for a strike for Juan Chan. His effort stings the palms of Raya, and he has to get up quickly to make sure there's no rebound because he couldn't catch it first time. But he does well in the end, the Arsenal keeper. And he bowls it out quickly as well, as Arsenal want to turn their defence into attack as quickly as possible. And it's Saliba now over the halfway line. He has the option of Martinelli down the right-hand side, and that's where the ball has gone, but he just waited too long with that pass. Wolves could see that one coming a mile off, and they're able to win the ball back.
Yeah, good defending again from Wolves. Obviously, Saliba was very far up the pitch then, but just touching on that chance, Wolves. It's good play from Juan Chan. He does everything right as a striker. Always, should have a go from those sort of positions. Just see what sort of fortune you can get. In the end, Raya does well. He keeps it out of the goal, but I feel like if there's a player racing onto that one, they could maybe have tucked in a little bit of a rebound.
Yeah, just needed, I think, because Juan Chan was starting the move, wasn't he? He needed to have been closer to the penalty area, but here come Wolves again. Now it's Nelson Semedo's ball, and it's played a cross goal by Sarabia. Well, whether or not that was an actual pass from Pablo Sarabia or it was just a shot that goes completely wrong, well, I suppose we'll never know, but in the end it goes a long way wide.
Yeah, linking up decently at the Semedo and Sarabia. We saw that chance earlier on in the game, but good from Semedo, gets down the right hand side. It's a good cut back. I don't know if Sarabia gets the contact on it once. It looks like he's looking for the pass to someone trying to arrive at the back post. In the end, there's no one there, so may have just been better taking the shot on, even though it was a tough angle for him.
Arsenal taking a short goal kick this time before Raya decides to clear it long anyway. Then it's straight onto the head of Agbadou. Heads it down the left-hand side for Wolves. Nouri was chasing that one, but it's a clearance which in the end bounces all the way back towards Raya after a deflection of one of the Wolves midfielders. It came off Gomez last and is now back with the Arsenal keeper. It towards Saliba. There are 4 Wolves players pressing, and this is going to be the issue for Arsenal, is managing that, managing the fitness levels, because they started very brightly in this second half, but it's going to be tough to constantly sort of wipe out that man disadvantage. A ball now to Havertz down the right-hand side. He can't keep it in play. It's going to go out for a throw to Arsenal, though Martinelli felt like it should be more than just a throw on as well. Yeah,
I think he's got a point actually. It looks like he just sort of gets pushed off the pitch in the end by Bueno. It's a bit of a late one, but yeah, we'll have to see how they deal with this now, Wolves.
Yeah, chance to get this ball into the box. Arsenal, their corner kicks have been a little bit off this afternoon, so maybe a free kick, a slightly more outfield position gives them a chance to try and test this Wolves defence. Saw the last free kick that they had. Arsenal, there were at least 4 or 5 Arsenal players deliberately stood in an offside position, just trying to time the moment when they actually went after the ball, and obviously getting into an onside position first. But it's going to be Declan Rice from the right-hand side, and once again a cluster of 4 Arsenal players just at the edge of the 6-yard box. Now they're trying to fan out and get themselves into an onside position. Rice's ball in, and it's a header that's over the bar. Kai Havertz with the header. He got himself into a good position. Arsenal, their crosses into the box haven't been great this afternoon. That was better from Rice, but hard to tell from that replay whether or not Havertz was onside, but the header goes wide anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we've been criticising Arsenal's set-piece ability this afternoon, haven't we? We expect so much more from them. That's the first time, really, that a ball's been right on the money. Havertz does well. I mean, there's a question of offside. It's sort of tough to tell when they're all in line like that, whether one of them's gone a bit too ahead. But it's a good header from Havertz. Just needs to keep it down a little bit more. But he's had a few chances from that now.
He has, and he would be disappointed that he didn't get that one on target. But Wolves now break out with Sarabia down the right. He then finds Nelson Semedo at the edge of the area. Left-footed crosses only cleared to the edge of the area. And that's great work from Cunha to win it back. And Cunha goes for goal, and he forces a fabulous save from David Raya. Well, it looked like Cunha was really setting himself, and he had the time to do it, and he really measured that effort into the corner, but Raya with a fabulous one-handed save.
Yeah, he's been really quiet, hasn't he, so far, Cunha, but it just persists really well on the edge of the area. Just sort of sticks in there and then gets the ball. It falls for him. Can't really get too much pace from it with the angle that he's at, but it's a really well-placed curling effort. Raya does well to get over and put it out for a corner.
Yeah, decent save from David Raya, who's not had to make too many of those this afternoon, but he's got to be on his toes now. It's a Wolves corner kick. It's Sarabia's ball into the 6-yard box. It drops and it's fired wide from just inside the 6-yard box. And it's Mateus Cunha, of all people. You really would expect him to hit the target from there. But as this ball is whipped in from Sarabia, he gets a flick on off an Arsenal player. It drops to Cunha. I mean, he's a little bit off balance, but he still should be doing better.
Well, of all the players on the pitch, I don't think there's a man you want on this more than Mateus Cunha. I mean, he's just leaning back a bit, isn't he, as he strikes the volley. It is an awkward one for him, but player of his quality, you expect him just to nestle in the far corner.
Raya's about 3 or 4 yards away from that. I mean, he's never saving that if it's on target. He was just so pleased to see that go wide, but Wolves, who've hardly had a corner, in fact, that was their first corner kick of the afternoon. It's taken them 63 minutes to get that first corner, but it immediately caused Arsenal some problems. And in the meantime, the Gunners have cleared the ball, and now it's Wolves in possession here with Cunha playing in this slightly more deeper role. He plays it out towards the right-hand side for Nelson Semedo, and Semedo's cross into the into the box. He's almost missed the penalty area. He's overhit it really, but Nouri will still keep it in play down the left-hand side. He plays it back into Cunha. Mateus Cunha now with the ball in. It's a low cross trying to pick out the run of Pablo Sarabia, but that one's cleared into midfield, and now good work there from Doherty, sweeping up there for Wolves, and Santi Bueno now allowing himself a little bit more license to go forward. But just as we say that, Wolves have given it away, and it's been presented here to Kai Havertz, but he's completely isolated. He needs some support, and he gets that support now from Martinelli, who's overplayed that. That's an absolute gimme there for Agbadou. After it looked like Wolves were really playing themselves into trouble, Martinelli plays that one 3 yards in front of himself, and Agbadou challenges him.
Yeah, I mean, Semedo's, it's just really sloppy once again there from Semedo's pass into the middle, doesn't get near enough power on it, and in the end Havertz does really well, just nicks it off him. Advances up the pitch really well, keeps it off him. You think he's going to get tackled with the amount of Wolves players around him. Just gets the ball to Martinelli and just overplays it. It's poor from Martinelli. It's really...
It is. I mean, he's got, it's particularly with Arsenal having this man disadvantage. If they get a chance like that, a counter-attack, they really do need to take it. But Wolves now trying again here in midfield. But certainly the pendulum has shifted in their favour now. They're starting to see a little bit more of the ball now down the left-hand side here, the home side. Right, Nuri getting towards the edge of the area, plays one in towards Hwani Chan. He runs into Timber, and it's Hwani Chan with the final touch out for a goal kick to Arsenal.
Yeah, good defending that one from I think it was Timber, wasn't it? Yeah, but again, Hwani Chan, he's not really had too much come his way since he's come on. Obviously, Wolves never really going to look to be the attacking, dominating team against Arsenal, even with the advantage, but does well there, just sort of tries to nick it. Seeing a bit of afters there between him and Martinelli as well.
Yeah, there's the two number 11s there for Martinelli for Arsenal and Hwani Chan for Wolves. Just Chan felt that Martinelli had just sort of stopped him, pushing him a bit too much. So Hwani Chan just gave him a little shove back to say, look, I see what you're doing, and the referee was sort of quite happy to let both of them do it to each other, I suppose, if he realised that there was no sort of further afters after that. We could see that Liverpool were 4-0 up against Ipswich, with Gakpo getting his second of the afternoon, but now there's a VAR review in that one as well. So wait to see whether or not anything's being done. 7 efforts from Wolves in the game, 2 of them been on target. 8 from Arsenal, also 2 have been on target, so it's fairly even as far as that stat is concerned. But Arsenal won the attack now with Partey in midfield. Getting the ball back here from Timber. It's got support down the right from Martinelli. That's where the ball has gone. Martinelli now back in towards Thomas Partey. Square to Jurriën Timber, who turns away from Cunha and tries to lay the ball off to Rice, but there were too many Wolves players in the way. And it's been won back now by the home side, and Cunha playing a ball down the left here for Nuri, but he's asking too much of his teammate there. Easily played back towards David Raya by Saliba. Back in possession here in midfield. They almost lose it, but it just about gets through towards Saliba. Now Rice, nice quick pass out towards Martinelli down the right hand side, and Martinelli trying to get away from Agbadou, but he just shows too much of the ball to him. Then he tries to win it back. Agbadou does really well to find Andre in midfield. Now starts some attacking, well, trying to start some attacking possession for Wolves. Plays it towards Pablo Sarabia. Mateus Cunha now on the left hand side. Thought about playing it long, but just leaves it here on the halfway line, and the visitors now temporarily without the ball. In fact, Wolves are starting to see more of the ball in general. Yeah,
they're getting Cunha more involved as well, crucially. That was the key, what we said at the start of the game. If they can get Cunha on the ball in those dangerous areas, then they are going to have some joy against Arsenal. That's certainly happened in the last sort of like 5-10 minutes or so. They're getting on the ball, Wolves. You'd say they are in the ascendancy. Arsenal struggling, aren't they, with the 10-man advantage, this deficit. They can't get players up the pitch quickly enough. Semedo almost keeping it in there.
Yeah, he's really trying to force the corner. That if he can't force the corner, then he was trying to keep it in play himself in the end, and neither of those options work out for him. And it will be a goal kick to give it as a free. I don't give it a free kick after all of that for I'm not really quite sure why, unless there was an earlier offside position that only just got confirmed. But Raya and his 2 centre-backs exchanging passes there at the edge of their own box. It's back now with the Arsenal keeper, David Raya. Long ball over the halfway line. It's headed across by Martinelli. No one in an Arsenal shirt able to mop up the second ball. So we're over the 3-quarter mark in this game. It is still goalless between Wolves and 10-man Arsenal, and it will be Josh to take us through to full time.
Yeah, thank you very much, Paul. Here we are with Wolves. As we say, they are in the ascendancy at the moment. They're trying to get that goal. Maybe they can then defend it, but Arsenal staying resolute at the moment. There's been the 2 chances recently for Mateus Cunha. Couldn't find the net in either of them, but it's the closest Wolves have gone so far in the second half. Gomez trying to bring the ball down, Partey wins it eventually. Rice trying to come away for it. There's been a foul there. It looks like João Gomez. Oh. I forgot he was on a yellow card. It looked like he left one on the Arsenal player there, and all of a sudden, Wolves' 10-man advantage has disappeared.
Yeah, well, we can see now Vitor Pereira is absolutely furious. But who's he furious at? Is he furious at the referee, or is he furious at his Brazilian midfielder? I think it's more likely to be option B, because once you've got a yellow card, you have to behave yourself. And João Gomez there, looking up to the heavens, ripping his gloves off in disgust. And we'll see again from this replay, just as he tries to win the ball back. And yeah, I mean, that's not just a little attempt to win the ball back. He treads down. That's a proper stamp down there from from João. If any, I mean, he puts his hand up to sort of apologise to the Wolves fans, and I think he might take more than a little hand of apology there for Vitor Pereira, because the manager will be furious with him.
Yeah, he looked absolutely furious on the touchline then, didn't he? I mean, there was no question about it from Michael Oliver. There was no appeals from the Wolves men. You just sort of saw him, I think it was Partey, the foul was on, just go down in a heap, and then you're just worrying for him there. But that's just it's just such a silly challenge. Wolves on top, got the advantage, and then they just throw it away in a moment like that.
They do, and what was worse is that they actually survived the first 15 minutes of the second half, with Arsenal clearly having the advantage, even though they were down to 10 men. The last 10 minutes, Wolves have been the better team on the pitch, and now they've got to try and adjust with what's happening here with that second yellow. I'll tell you what, I mean, Michael Oliver would have definitely seen a replay of that red card he gave during the half-time break. So as I say, I'm not going to suggest that he was waiting for any excuse to send a Wolves player off, but João Gomes made it almost too easy for him there.
Yeah, he did. Well, it's something about this fixture, isn't it, that seems to produce the red cards. We had that moment a few years ago where Arsenal, I believe, had 2 men sent off. I think Molineaux, the goalkeeper, was sent off when he handled the ball outside the area. It's just something about this game at Molineaux that produces the cards, and we've seen that so far. So 20 minutes, just under 20 minutes left to go at Molineaux. Arsenal were playing with 1 man less than Wolves until João Gomes was sent off just moments ago. Now it's 10 apiece. Will either side look to get in the ascendancy now as the game is reduced to a level playing field?
The game is likely to swing in Arsenal's side because they've already adapted to being a 10-man team, and they know what to do, whereas Wolves are having to sort of do it on the fly without a half-time break. So if anything, it might swing in Arsenal's favour now. Yeah,
you won't be surprised to see it is Calafiori who's picked the ball up short from a set piece. Declan Rice now on the left wing, got Semedo covering him. Ball comes in from the left foot. In the end, it's towards the far post. Oh, the referee.
It's a corner,
it's actually given a corner. It must have come off either Nelson Semedo or Sarabia, I think it was. It looked like it had just gone sort of straight out on our screens, but Michael Oliver is a busy man at the moment.
He is, yeah. I mean, we'll see again here. I mean, we're actually seeing another replay of the second yellow for João Gomes. I mean, I'll tell you what. I mean, that could be a red card on its own, really, couldn't it? It's a bad challenge from the 23-year-old Brazilian. But yeah, that last cross must have got a deflection, and Arsenal now have a corner on the left-hand side. Yeah, and
it will be swung in by Declan Rice. We'll see if Arsenal set pieces can improve with the 10-man for Wolves. The ball does come in, it's headed away in the end, I think, by Agbadou. Only as far as, well, there's a bit of an attempt there from Calafiori to win it. In the end, it just does go all the way back to Jose Sarr. Still 18 minutes left to go at Molineaux. Can either side find a way to Jose Sarr just slowing the ball down now? You can imagine that from Wolves. They'll know they're not going to be having the advantage anymore now that Arsenal have adapted. So it may be just to be a case of waiting out the time. There is a change being readied for the home side, as you might expect, following the sending off, as Agbadou clears that one back into the Arsenal half. Gabriel trying to get underneath it. Eventually it falls to Saliba. It's now with Partey in the middle of the park, who looks to drive Arsenal forward. Here he is in the centre. His touch is quite loose. Cunha's all over him. In the end, Partey does concede the free kick. It was a bit lucky initially. He was being sloppy on the ball, but it was a foul by the Brazilian. Partey does take it quickly. Here's Gabriel looking for a way through. Here's Partey again. He's got Timber over to his right hand side. Timber advancing down the right wing now. Declan Rice is making a run ahead of him. Arsenal do have numbers forward here. They eventually go to Martinelli on the right hand side, looking to have a go at Nori. Martinelli cuts in on his left, gets across towards the far post. Havertz was underneath it as well. Calafiori comes back and he's open the scoring for Arsenal. Well, just minutes after their 10-man deficit was levelled out, Calafiori, the substitute, puts the Gunners in front at Molineaux.
He does, and this is just going to be even more salt in the wounds for Vitor Pereira, because his side were just getting into the game. They were just starting to put Arsenal on the ropes. Then that second yellow card for João Gomes, and Arsenal immediately responding with a bit of attacking possession. And just a few minutes later, they go 1-0 up. We'll see here as the ball is on the right-hand side. Martinelli's been a real trouble for Wolves this afternoon. It's a left-footed cross. It's only partially cleared, but you've got to say it's not the first time this season we've seen a real cultured finish from Calafiori. He scored a fabulous goal at the Etihad, didn't he, earlier this season? Just a real sort of striker's finish. And there again, there's not much power on it, but he just really guides that ball with the left foot into the bottom corner. It's a fabulous goal from Calafiori.
Yeah, well, he's had to wait for his season, obviously, to get truly underway. Scored that great goal at Man City, was then thwarted by injury, but he's made a fantastic impact here at Molineaux. He's put Arsenal in front when it looked like Wolves might have been the team looking for the 3 points with the one-man advantage before that was reduced, but Calafiori has put them in front. There has been a change for Wolves. It's Bellegarde who's come on for the home side. Not sure who it was for initially.
Just confirm that in a moment. It's interesting that they've made that change actually. Bellegarde's coming on to try and sort of spice things up in attacking midfield. They haven't confirmed to us yet who the player was that came on, but it looks like it might be Sarabia. So it's pretty much a straight swap, one sort of attacking midfielder for another. Bellegarde perhaps just that little bit more physical as well, something for the Arsenal defence to think about. But here comes Timber with a great run. He gets tripped, and that will be a free kick and a potential booking as well.
Yeah, you see Timber just flat out laid down there as he was impeded. See there on the bench as well, there's a few frustrated faces up from Wolves. They know what chance they had to get something from this game. It looks like it's going to be a tall order now, as they've got 15 minutes to break down what is one of the best defences in the division. Mito Pereira will be thinking about any way that he can influence that. Yeah,
just to remind you that the next 3 Premier League games are at home to Villa, away to Liverpool and away to Bournemouth, so it doesn't get any easier for Wolves.
Yeah, it's a massive opportunity, isn't it, to try and get something on the board. They need points on the board in this relegation battle. Obviously, Ipswich are losing at the moment pretty heavily to Liverpool, so that will bring some reprieve about for them as Martinelli comes down on the right side now, cuts in on his left again, this time doesn't get the cross off, opts for Timber instead and tries to get ball into the area. Cunha snuffs it out, brings it away in the end. There's Bellegarde in the middle. Aït-Nouri now. He's got Cunha to his left. Aït-Nouri goes for the substitute instead. Partey is on the heels of him. Bellegarde looking for any option. He's not got many to work with at the moment. Arsenal players crowding about. Martinelli eventually comes away with it. Agbadou happy to then put it out for a throw-in.
He is, and Martinelli immediately, as he wins that throw for his side, turns to those travelling Arsenal fans who are behind that touchline where Arsenal are attacking in the second half. You can see they're a lot more happy now, those Arsenal travelling fans. They would have been nervous about how this game was going, but now their side are 1-0 up. It's a strong challenge there, as Aït-Nouri was clearing that ball. I think he's gone straight into Timber here. I mean, the linesman was pretty much stood next to it. The referee wasn't too far away either. Just have your thoughts on this one. I mean, we're seeing the earlier challenge here from which got the Gomez the yellow card, but I'd like to see this one again here where it was Aït-Nouri going in on the same player.
Yeah, frustratingly, we're only being shown pictures of the João Gomez challenge at the moment. Timber certainly come away the worst of it. I might need to see another replay. I didn't really see what
they haven't shown us a single replay of that. And what's interesting is that the ball actually came off Timber and he wasn't fouled according to the referee, so it's just a throw on to Wolves.
Yeah, confusing moment there at Molineaux, but obviously we haven't seen it back, so can't really comment on what had happened. It was on the far side, a bit harder for us to see from our screens, but Wolves now trying to play their way out of trouble again, but Arsenal do win the ball up in the halfway through the Wolves half. It's shifted out to the left side to Calafiore. Goal scorer has had a great impact in this game actually since coming on. He has been an effective sub from Mikel Arteta. Here is Jurgen Timber, who's been heavily involved in this game as well. Declan Rice back to Partey. Partey is trying to find Timber throughout the lines, goes back to Rice. Rice trying to advance down the right wing. Bellegarde just keeping away instead. It's back towards Thomas Partey. What would you do now as well if you're Arsenal? Do you smell blood? Do you try and go for the second, or do you just try and sit back and not concede anything?
I think Arsenal sitting back is probably a second option for them. They do better work when they're on the ball. Even if they're protecting a lead, I think they do better just to try and keep possession, because we saw in that spell just before João Gomez got sent off that they were starting to sit back and Wolves are getting some joy from that. But here come Arsenal down the right-hand side with the ball to Martinelli and now Havertz.
Yeah, Havertz does pick it up in the end. He does have to go backwards. Potential chance on there for Arsenal, but they don't take it. Rice is coming down the right once again. He finds Timber. Just happy to sort of slow the player down and eventually go back to Rice and Partey. There's a bit of a triangle forming on that right hand side of the pitch as Martinelli comes to get involved. Cunha has stolen it back though for Wolves, tries to flick over Rice, and Martinelli does well to keep the ball actually, and then sprays a pass in towards Hwang Hee-chan in the centre. Hwang finds Andre in the middle, playing now obviously as the solo midfielder once João Gomez was sent off. Bellegarde coming forward, he's got Aït-Nouri to his left. Slow build-up play from Wolves. It's not really where they've excelled in this game. They've been better when taking the game to Arsenal on the counter-attack. Here's Agbadou. Now over once again to Aït-Nouri. Aït-Nouri being covered by Martinelli. Just looking for the pass forward. It's really slow from Wolves. He's sort of just walking towards the Arsenal penalty area at the moment. Doherty on the right now. Got Nelson Semedo, the captain, just ahead of him. He's been covered off by Calafiore quite well. Semedo having to go back towards Bueno. And it's good defending from Arsenal, just keeping the shape, just keeping Wolves as far away from the penalty area as possible before Agbadou tries a long ball upfield. It's just towards Saliba, who gets a poor defensive header. It's only as far as Cunha. Cunha finds Chan now into the penalty area. Goes back to Art-Nouri on the edge now. He's got Bellegarde arriving to his right. He set up for the South Korean. Wang on the left now, just tries a pass. It's snuffed out well, and there was a potential chance there for Wolves with Cunha and Wang, but they didn't take it. Bellegarde coming forward now, looked like he might be lining up the shot. Doesn't opt for it in the end, finds Cunha. Now towards Doherty. Doherty with a really poor pass, not sure what he was trying for there.
No, well, that was a long spell of possession for Wolves in the Arsenal half, and it took them a long time to get anywhere near the penalty area in an attacking sense. As Rice now trying to move for Arsenal, but he runs straight into the frame of Emmanuel Agbadou, and it's now back with Wolves inside the Arsenal half. But yeah, it did take them a while to get any kind of effort on goal there.
Yeah, and this is where the struggle now was. Again, there was the chance to quickly try and get up the pitch. That's what they can do, but instead they opt to go for the slow option. There has been another goal at St Mary's. It's a cracking game there. Newcastle were 3-1 up. It's now only 3-2. It's Fernandez who's got one back there for Southampton, so potentially a grandstand finish at St Mary's. It's Wolves looking to create one for themselves. Bellegarde picks it up in the middle. He's dispossessed by Partey. Only gives it to Cunha though. Cunha plays a 1-2. Cunha advancing into the penalty area, trying to find a way through Saliba. In the end he can't, and the ball finds its way back to David Raya.
Yeah, he just gets through to Raya in the end. There's not enough accuracy on that pass, and that's been a problem for Wolves, is that you can't fault their work rate this afternoon. Their effort has been superb, but they've just been lacking that quality in the final third, which is actually something you could probably say about their entire season.
Yeah, it definitely sums them up so far. Obviously Wolves well integrated in that relegation battle. It's not where they will have expected to be at the start of the season. We do spend a fair amount of money. Wolves got some quality players in there, none other than Mateus, Cunha, Nelson Semedo. There is players in that team that should be helping them get up the table, but it's a very competitive league this year, as we've seen. Is Bellegarde looking to advance forward inside to Art-Nouri, just a nice little chop to come in field. It's covered off well there by Rice. Havertz trying to get involved as well as he finds Bellegarde now on the left. The substitute looking to have a go at Timber. Might be coming inside, he slips over it in the end. And, well, I think he handled the ball in there. Maybe not. It's gone for a goal kick, but seems to have just been falling over the ball there, didn't he, Bellegarde?
He did, yeah, and sort of doing it in stages as well. Like it looked like he was,
really
he was losing his balance. Then he looked like he sort of landed on the ball and then carried on his run. He's now off the field complaining of some sort of thigh or groin injury, but he's slowly getting back up to his feet. As we now know, there's a VAR review in the game at St Mary's, so Southampton looked like they've reduced the arrears from 3-1 to 3-2. But it may well be that that's still to be chalked off. But we'll see again here down the left-hand side as Bellegarde breaks into the box. And yeah, I mean, that's actually very impressive, the way he was sort of falling. Twice he was falling over, putting his hands down, but it was almost like he was deliberately sort of avoiding the ball, and he managed it. He never touched it in the end.
Yeah, it was actually a really impressive play from the substitute. He just sort of fell over on it a bit earlier in the attack and managed to take it all the way to the byline. Could never fully recover it, but we are getting news of a fourth goal for Bournemouth at the Vitality Stadium against Nottingham Forest. We'll bring you news of who scored that momentarily, but what an afternoon that is for them.
Unbelievable. I think the fact that Bournemouth are beating Forest, it wouldn't shock people that much, because Bournemouth have been superb this season, but the fact that they're doing it 4-0 in the way that they seem to be doing it is incredible, and it turns out that there is a hat-trick hero for Bournemouth this afternoon.
Yeah, it's for Ouattara. We were mentioning Justin Kluivert might be looking for one when he's just before his goal got disallowed, but Wolves are coming forward now. The shot does come in from Art-Nouri. David Raya produces the save. Well, the closest that Wolves have come in quite some time. The ball found its way through to Art-Nouri, but the chance isn't gone just yet as Timber looks to try and clear things up. It's come to Rice, who then eventually hoofs it clear, but a scary moment there for the Gunners.
Oh, it was. I mean, it was a nothing ball as well, just almost a clearance for Wolves down the left-hand side. Arsenal players all left it, and suddenly Art-Nouri was breaking towards the edge of the area. Took an early shot. It was a good save from Raya. Here come Arsenal down the left with Trossard and Calafiori.
Yeah, here is Trossard now, just holds the ball up, slows the play down. Arsenal might need that after nearly conceding the goal. It was Southampton's second goal. That was ruled out, so Fernandez hasn't reduced the deficit. They still trail Newcastle by 3-1. Joran Timber on the right hand side looking to assert Arsenal's dominance once again.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, one result that is going to be worrying Wolves is that result from the Amex as well, with Brighton a goal down at home to Everton. It's to say it looks like Everton were in all kinds of trouble, but the steady hand of David Moyes certainly seems to be having an effect already.
Yeah, it certainly does, and with this current result as well, Everton going 7 points clear of Wolves in 16th, so it's a big 6-pointer really that's that's unfolding at the moment.
Yeah, and we've already mentioned the sort of fixtures that Wolves have in the next 3 or 4 weeks. So it could be, it could be a tough next month for Wolves. They're currently only outside of relegation on goal difference. Still crazy to see Spurs just above Everton in that 15th place, but they really have been decimated by injuries.
Yeah, it has been tough for them. Obviously, Ange having a tough time at the moment. You would feel without that cup run as well, he might be out of a job at the moment.
Yes, potentially so. Yeah, but I mean, it's now we know they're going to be missing Solanke for the next 6 weeks as well. So it's another injury to a big player. But great control there from Partey trying to start a counter for Arsenal, but the pass is behind Havertz.
Yeah, it was really good pace and initiative shown by Partey. It was looking for Havertz, just couldn't find the pass in the end. And Wolves do have the ball back. It's Matt Doherty just raging down the right. Cunha's found space on the edge of the area. Goes for the strike as well. It's low, it's hard, it's at Raya, but it's fairly comfortable for the Spaniard.
Yeah, it's never going to be a problem that for Raya unless he misreads the bounce of the ball as it's coming towards him. But as soon as Cunha gets the ball, he makes his mind up. He does want to go for goal, and the effort is well saved by the goalie.
Yeah, easy one there for Raya. He's not had too much to do throughout the course of the game. He's been called into action a few times though in the last few moments. Just going back to that shot as well there from I think it was out Norway, wasn't it? So still alive in this game. Wolves showing Arsenal that it's not a done deal. There is 4 minutes left of normal time at Molineaux. There's Wolves ready for free. I think that's 3 changes coming on there.
Yeah, 3 changes for Wolves, and there's 1 change being ready for Arsenal as well. So we'll confirm that in just a second. It looks like Kieran Tierney's the man getting ready to come on for Arsenal.
Yeah, I think that was for Gabriel Martinelli. So Arsenal are going defensive.
Yeah, it makes sense. As I say, they're 3.5 minutes away from a vital 3 points on the road. With Man City playing at home to Chelsea tonight, there's potential for a draw there with both those sides dropping points as well. Liverpool won't be dropping any points today, but of course there's always a hope they can do that in the next game. As confirmation now of the Wolves changes. So Doherty, Andre and Ait Nouri are the 3 to go off, and confirming who is coming on to replace them. It's going to be Rodrigo Gomez, Tommy Doyle and Gonzalo Guedes.
Yep, so Wolves throwing the last throws of the dice now, trying desperately to get themselves back into this. As I say, that Bournemouth have gone 5-0 up against Nottingham Forest. An absolutely unbelievable afternoon for the Cherries. It's Nelson Semedo this time, sorry, not Nelson Semedo, Antoine Semenyo this time, who's made it 5 for the home side. I mean, I don't think anyone in the world would have predicted that.
No, not 5, no, absolutely. And all the praise that Matt Sells has had for his amazing performances in the Forest goal, that's been really put to the test this afternoon. Big win that for Bournemouth.
Yeah, absolutely incredible result at the Vitality Stadium. And you might have to think, well, how will that impact Nottingham Forest's season? But Wolves looking to get a big goal of their own now. They've got just over 2 minutes of normal time to try and secure that equaliser as Raya boots the ball forward towards the substitute Kieran Tierney. Tierney receives it again from Calafiori, tries to float across, and there is Havertz racing for the ball, couldn't get the connection. It's good defending in the end from Agbadou.
It is, yeah. I mean, the ball into the box was a decent one, but it always difficult for Havertz to get near it, just with the way that he was being marked. And Wolves, if they're going to find some little bit of extra turbo boost, they need to find it now because time's running out in this game.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's not been the clearest game for Arsenal. It's not the prettiest result they'll have all season. We'll have hoped to have getting the 3 points. That is what matters, and obviously the clean sheet. But they've not had it their own way this game. They've obviously had to fight through having 10 men for much of the second half when Miles Kelly was sent off at the end of the first. But could be coming away with a crucial 3 points here as Guedes floats the ball out towards Aitnouri. It's a poor touch from Trossard in the end. Raya comes out, has to collect it, and shows good initiative there, the keeper.
He does, yeah. Even the goalies are celebrating clearances like defenders and like strikers who score nowadays, aren't they? Raya getting high fives all round. But it's good work from the goalkeeper. They needed to react quickly as this ball was played across. It was played in by substitutes Guedes, and then a very bad touch there from Trossard, putting his keeper under real pressure.
Yeah, he does well there, Raya, as well, because it's so easy to concede a penalty from those sort of regions. We see the keeper rushing out. Sometimes they don't get the ball, they get the man. I mean, it leads to a penalty, but he does well there, the Spaniard. Timber now has the throw-in. Just send that long in towards Wolves. Agbadou does head it down. It's towards the substitute Guedes. He's got Cunha just ahead of him. Cunha now looking to find his pings are passing towards Chan, but it's not really easy for him to take that down.
No, he deals with it quite easily in the end, and the ball's now going out. But we can see now Wolves manager Vitor Pereira, and he's going to be very frustrated with how this afternoon has gone. You can see now a couple of Wolves fans getting frustrated about how long it's taking Arsenal to take a goal kick, but I'm here to tell you that if Wolves are 1-0 up now, their fans will be telling their players to waste time, so it's always obviously a disgrace when it's happening to you. But Liverpool this afternoon, pretty much perfect today, 4-0 up against Ipswich, only 4-1 now. Ipswich have ruined Liverpool's clean sheet with a late consolation in that one, and it's Greaves, it's young Jacob Greaves with the goal there for Ipswich in that game. But meanwhile, back at Molineaux, Arsenal won the attack, and we're into 5 minutes of added time.
Yep, here is Partey advancing down the left now. He's done fairly well to get in. Semedo just shrugs him off in the end. He's looking to advance towards the byline Partey before crossing it back. He couldn't do it in the end. We've not talked much about the Championship today, but there has been some fairly unexpected results. Sunderland being held by Plymouth at the moment. Ogbeta has scored a 92nd minute equaliser for the away side. You wouldn't have expected that after their last result.
No, and but I say, but fair play to Plymouth, and fair play to their fans as well, because I mean they often get mentioned as the longest trip anywhere because they are so far away from most other league clubs. But to say Plymouth to Sunderland, particularly with all the stormy weather we've had in the last couple of days, that's an impressive journey for those fans to make, and they've been rewarded, of course, unless they're one of those that, because they have made such a long journey, they might have left a little bit early.
Unbelievable dedication from those supporters that are still there. As Wolves do try and come forward now, they win a free kick halfway into the area. Cunha's, he's been doing a lot of complaining. He's complaining there about winning a free kick, but he's really not had it his own way, has he, today?
No, he hasn't. I think that's the problem for Cunha, is that he obviously knows that there's going to be some attention on him, so he sort of wants to do something special every time he gets the ball. But as soon as players start thinking that way, they sort of forget their basics and start making sort of mistakes. Whereas really, if he just lets the game flow, Cunha is such a natural player. I think that's always going to benefit him. But he's only human, of course. There are big clubs interested, so he's going to have that on his mind. Yeah,
definitely. See the frustration coming out from the Wolves man. He's got about 3 minutes of stoppage time to try and help his side find an equaliser here. It will be Tommy Doyle to take this deep set piece though for Wolves. The arm goes up and the cross eventually does go towards the far side of the penalty area. It's headed out. It's only as far as Rodrigo Gomez though. Comes away down the left side. There's good defending from Timber, who just nicks it back off of him. Timber eventually going down. The referee gives a foul. The Wolves players are pretty angered by that one. Looked like Rodrigo Gomez just tries to nick it in there, but he does foul Timber in the end. It's been full time at Southampton against Newcastle. They were threatening a potential shock result, the home side, but Newcastle stuffed that one out pretty much away, and they've come away with a 3-1 win and an important 3 points. Other scores in the Premier League: Brighton 0, Everton 1. So obviously Liverpool 4, Ipswich 1, and then 1-0 between Wolves and Arsenal at Molineaux. Mikel Arteta just shouting instructions to his team, just trying to help them come through these final moments of what's been a really tough afternoon at Molineaux. They've come through it well though. Calafiore's goal, the only difference so far is Abadou shows some pretty decent skill there to get past his man before advancing towards the halfway line. It's a poor return pass though from Gomez, potentially for Kai Havertz to storm around the right. They might be able to outnumber them here as Havertz goes towards Bueno. It's Bueno who puts it out for another corner kick.
Yeah, another corner kick, and this is all good news for Arsenal with 90 seconds of injury time left. They're the ones with the corner kick. It's going to take them a few seconds to set this up, and then it's getting closer and closer to when Michael Oliver's going to be ending the game. And you can see those Arsenal travelling fans now. They're just really urging for this game to be over. Arsenal with their 5th corner kick of the afternoon.
Yeah, and they're in no hurry to take it.
There's no one in the box either.
Yeah, just the lonely Kieran Tierney in the box at the moment. Even he's about to step outside of it. Havertz looks like he will be receiving it from I think it was Trossard, wasn't it? Yeah. So it's Havertz holding it up in the area. Gomez, and sorry, it was Guedes who actually wins it back. Wolves get the throw in straight away from the corner. Goes back towards Agbadou in the centre, who's going to have to take it down and do well. Havertz is trying to pressure him into a turnover. Agbadou still hasn't cleared it. Eventually finds Semedo on the right hand side. Semedo looking to launch Wolves quickly. They've not got much time at all. They've got to show urgency here. Tommy Doyle goes back to the goalkeeper, Jose Sarr. It's now with Bueno. Might have to launch the kitchen sink at it now, Wolves, if they are going to get anything. Bueno, ball down the right hand side, was looking for Cunha. It's a bit overhit though, and Gabriel just take his time to clear it in the end before launching it back towards Wolves. It's Havertz who's going to try and receive the ball. I imagine he was offside. There is no flag. Bueno bundled Havertz over, but there's no free kick given. Play resumes.
Well, yeah, there's no danger of Wolves kicking the ball out now with Havertz down on the ground. We've only got 20 seconds left It's now or never for Wolves if they're going to get an equaliser.
And here is Semedo advancing now. It's Cunha on the ball. Wolves only got 2 men up. Ball comes in. It's headed away by Gabriel. It's only as far as Rice on the edge of the area. Hooks it away. Havertz has only just got up from receiving that blow. It's Bueno. We're at the end of the 5 minutes now. It's Agbadou. And the final whistle does go well. Mikel Arteta's side, they've come through a really awkward afternoon at Molineaux. It's Wolves 0, Arsenal 1.